Everybody's going to hit that button. Not everyone's going to share that content for you. It's just the way it is. You're publishing your content, you've got people observing the content. You're starting to promote, and then as you're going to see how the triangle gets a little bit smaller and smaller, with your messages, this is where they purchase, this is where they buy. Not everybody's going to do it, but we have to put enough content out there to keep going back to your content, your creativity, and the consistency. That's what's going to do it and get you on air. And that's why I'm saying we've got to get out there now to do this. I don't expect you to read font of 2. This was a reminder for me, but I wanted to focus on ways that you can get your content out there. Okay, it's not for everybody. How many people are actually making videos? And by doing that, I just mean like a simple Instagram video. Okay, and some haven't even dove into that yet. So this is the big takeaway today, and it's something as simple as I would start on something like Instagram and having it in portrait and doing simple type videos to get you started. And it could be everything from, we were talking about the engagement type of video, edutainment. Edutainment would be that Aura Brush tongue cleaner type one. Like I've done ones where we've been sitting here before and we'll all make a video and we'll use the tongue cleaner right now and we'll show it and we'll do exactly what they did before. I mean, not with COVID days, obviously that would just gross. People would go crazy, oh my gosh, in all the wrong ways. But things that are different, and it doesn't, what I often find too is the things that you think people won't, no one will be interested in that, no one wants to know about that, and then you post it and you go, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. People don't know what they don't know, right? You got to share this information with them. And your audience will start to unveil itself, and you'll start to really see who your followers are. That's the thing I do really like about Instagram, is that you can go back and you can really view who's looking at your content. You don't need millions of followers or 10,000 followers. You just need the right followers, the right people that will talk about you, that will share your message, that will spread the word on your behalf, so to speak, right? That's another key point I want to make too, is that when you have content and people share it for you, that share is like your sales force. Those shares, they are your ambassadors, and they are selling for you on your behalf, but you're not having to pay them commission, right? So give your audience great content so that they will share things for you. Give them something to talk about. It's like that song, right? Let's give them something to talk about. You got to put stuff out there so that people will talk and people will want to say and will want to engage and share. But honestly, it is all about the share. I used to say it's all about video. Making video is great, but when you can take it to that next level of sharing, the sharing is caring, this is where it all happens. So this is where this is going to blow up here. And I want to read this to you and I want you to digest this because it is really important. And this is the psychology of content sharing online. So this is 2021. This is like very current, very now, all right? So sharing is a fascinating phenomenon because liking or even loving something doesn't necessarily lead to sharing it with your peers. Why is that? Typically, what leads a person to share something on social media is when it has a connection to them as an individual, be it political, emotional, cute, or funny. So you need to have a connection in some way, shape, or form. People want to share with others how they perceive the world and reflect their tastes and how they define themselves. Somehow that content, that information is tapping into that viewer, and when they share it, it's a reflection of themselves as well. Because they want, whether they love the product, whether they believe in that event, whether it, again, be it political. I mean, look at what's going on in the world right now. You can tell a person and what they believe in by what they're posting, what they're saying, how they're commenting. We really are learning a lot about each other right now, more than we ever have before. So some of the trends we have to keep focusing on and keep tuned into. One is that influencer marketing is even going to continue to soar even more. It's not going anywhere. And it's really interesting sometimes because you'll look at someone, maybe they're focusing on a pair of pants, maybe they're focusing on something else. So if you have an influencer in this area that you like and you believe in what their philosophy is, then maybe you want to talk to them about some sort of a partnership program. The thing I worry about here is to make sure that your value system is intact with their value system. It's not just, hey, you've got 1 million followers. If I give this to you, or if you come to my location, will you please, will you talk about me? I think that's one of the biggest, it's challenging because in tourism, if someone has millions of followers and you invite them, I see this, I grew up in Stratford, they'll invite a lot of influencers to that area, they'll host them, they'll pay for everything, and then they, on the flip side, will talk and share their experience, right? So that is technically it's like a paid job, but they're sharing to their audience and they are exposing that audience to things they might not know about and engaging and drawing them into that, right? So the thing I always just like to make sure is that the value system is intact and that everybody's doing things for the right reasons. If you're all on the same page, that's great. If it's, just to get higher in the rankings or that kind of thing, it's, you might want to, you got to think about the bigger picture. I just don't want it to be like tunnel focus. You want to think about the bigger picture. How in the end do you want to be remembered? Okay? So online currency, all of that content that we're putting out there, that's your currency. That is your online, all of your content is basically the money, so to speak, that it's not money, but it could be in the sense that you've got your sales force out there sharing and is caring. That's what I always say. Sharing is caring. Okay? So sharing is not new. That was, do you know what? So that's like an alarm I always have, what's today? Wednesday at 11 o'clock. There's a live stream on. I set alarms for myself to go, oh, this is posting. It was scheduled to air. It's a live stream. Don't forget to go and share that because we got to go and do this. So that's what I always do is I put alarms up for myself. They'll come up in crazy hours and I'm just like, because what happens? We get busy, right? And we forget. So sharing is not new. It is not new. It's human nature. So if you, again, I must like triangles here, but it really is psychological. When we share, we're talking about all of these things we believe in. At the top of it is your self-actualization. It is when you put content out there, you are representing yourself and everything you believe in. So the big thing, sorry, some of that's off the screen at the bottom here, but the big thing here, what has changed? What's changed is that we now live in this information age where we get more and more and more and more, but it's more content from more sources, from more people, more often and more quickly. So we have never had this much information come in this quickly from all over the world. It's not, now it would be like, do you remember in the good old days when you had your friends and you were you had maybe some dance moves and you who's the best dancer? Well, now you're not just competing with the community, you're competing with the world. Who's the best dancer? And we've got all these things. You got to be the best of the best of the best because everybody's putting that content out there. But really now, with sharing, it's how fast it's out there so quickly. So we have moved, and coming from a broadcast background, we're no longer, and I no longer feel, and even with the news, do you notice that even how they deliver the news, they're really no longer broadcasters, they're sharecasters. They're always sharing information of what's happened. A lot of the news stories, some of it will be from something on Instagram or from something on Twitter or from something here. It's really not, because they're not delivering the news anymore, it's not from one source. It used to be you turned on the 6 o'clock news, what's going on in the world? Well, heck, you're not doing that as often as you are maybe because you already knew because you got the latest tweet or Instagram or this or this or this. Did you hear about this? It's fast, it's furious, it's always coming at us, right? So let's talk a little bit about the philosophy here of sharing. So sharing acts as, and I like this, you might want to write this down, but as information management. When someone shares something, it's almost a piece of their brain. They're able to compartmentalize it and put it somewhere. So I like this quote here. It's, sharing information helps me do my job. I remember products and information sources better when I share them and am more likely to use them. So the actual act of a share as well makes people want to use the product more, engage with the product more, or the service, or whatever it is we're talking about, or the person, more because, and I look at it, it's top of mind awareness, right? If you're talking about it and you're talking about the experience and like, I'll go home and talk about all the things I did in Gananoque over the past week, that, and then those experiences and putting those up in the posts and the tags and the tweets, all that stuff. So that's, again, putting that out there and sharing information kind of in of sorts helps people do their jobs. But I like it as information management. So let's again go down through the psychology of why people share, because I think when you understand why people share, motivations.